about your company, especially now we're here at a learning summit, and the importance of what you do as part of that?
Well, edX.org was started by Harvard and MIT as the only nonprofit, open source, massive open online course platform in the world today. And we've got about 14 million registered learners taking close to 40 million course instances on edX. We have 140 members. They're primarily the top 200 ranked universities in the world, and a small selection of non-university brands like Microsoft, who's using edX and OpenEdX to create courses for everyone, Smithsonian, Red Hat, Linux Foundation, World Bank, the IMF. So our goals are threefold. One is to provide access to the world's best courses to everyone that wants them for free or for a verified certificate, to do a longitudinal big data research project on how do online learners learn, and then how to best use technology to improve learner outcomes. And so that's the mission that MIT and Harvard set out to fulfill and to affect the world as positively as we can by providing access.
I'm wondering now if your task is easier because we're so used to Googling things and learning now. I think we have our minds wrapped around the concept.
Well, I think universities understood 5 years ago when this started in 2012 that it would be disruptive in terms of a platform and what it would do to change access to education for learners and students. It only became really, I think, highly visible to corporations in the last couple of years, where they got past the what is this MOOC thing people are talking about to, wow, we could actually be using this as a way to provide education to our learners, and then allowing them to take that course for a new kind of micro-credential. And we've been innovators in that area of credentialing in that way, so it's only increased the visibility of the solution. And it's an extremely low-cost way to create lifelong learners they need a different type of relationship with learning than maybe I had coming up, because the speed of technology requires that change will happen so fast. I'm going to need to continue to learn in order to stay viable and relevant in the job or career that I have today, or to get a job, and or upgrade from a job I've got to one that may be more in demand.
It's funny because you talk about a lot of us had that front-end learning. College, we're done. But now people understand clearly that's not the case any longer.
Well, I think that you heard a lot of people talk today about 50% of all jobs becoming obsolete, either due to the emergence of AI or other internet-related and data-driven solutions that are technology-based. And if you do that, then you need to find a path for the legacy learners that you have in your business to keep them as employees and put them on the trail of filling the jobs that are the future. Because there is no school that's going to create enough graduates to fill those jobs, and that will become a downward spiraling equation for you to think that you'd be able to go compete with everyone for them and do that at a reasonable price point.
Yeah, I got to give the universities credit. That keeps their material fresh as well by having it accessible this way.
Universities have really reinvented themselves from the standpoint of how they would work with corporations. And they understood that there was an inequality in the calculus, which was they were going to turn out students that would carry a significant amount of debt, but they weren't shovel-ready for the jobs, requiring employers to think about ways that they could hire them and use them, but they could never pay them enough to retire the debt in the first place. So rather than think about that market being one-directional, where you come in at the bottom, you go up through 4 years of education, you come out the top, a graduate, and you get a job, they think about a new lifelong relationship with that learner, where it's a porous entry into the system. And that's what new platforms like edX allow you to do. You can come in different places during your career and have a relationship that may start online, it may resolve itself eventually on campus, it may involve a new credential like a MicroMasters, which is something that MIT and edX created together. It's got a lot of steam in the marketplace. Or potentially you go back to campus at some point later in life to get a full master's degree on your own. It will really depend on your circumstances, but you need to think about education as an omni-channel experience right now, and that's kind of the next phase of what we do with education and corporate and university kind of collaboration.
Terrific, terrific. Final fun question, something you've learned recently.
Well, I think we've all Googled up something that's broken in the house to find the video in order to repair it. I know that I've done that too. I will tell you that I took apart a vacuum cleaner because I thought I was pretty sure that I could fix what was wrong with it, but was unable to reassemble it and cost myself $800. So that wasn't a very good learning experience. I did also learn something, probably what I'm learning the most is being a father of 3 millennial-aged children that are in their 20s, how different their thinking is than mine was about jobs. And even though I've got one that has only had a job for 6 months, she really feels that she's entitled to run the company. She shouldn't be taking orders, she should be giving orders. And it goes to the mindset they have about progressing very quickly and not tolerating workers that may even be her employers that have not stayed up to speed with technology and doesn't understand her market as well as she understands it in her space. It's an interesting dynamic.